If we live for them.
We gotta get through this together.
I don't leave anybody behind. Not ever.
The only way this works is if we trust each other.
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we have an awesome Walking Dead video for you. The ending, it's not yet written.
No, it's not.
No.
Yes. And there will be major deviations from the source material.
You know what, though? This doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't at all.
Not at all.
And we knew it was going to happen because 3 primary characters are not here. And it won't happen.
Who's 3?
Oh, we'll get into that. Well, you already know.
Yeah.
So, guys, yes, showrunner Angela Kang revealed the ending of The Walking Dead is plotted and pitched, but not yet written ahead of the series finale scheduled for next year. The 11th and final season of the AMC drama will air in 3 parts through 2022. The extended 24 episodes air as a final season trilogy, pulls from the final arc of creator Robert Kirkman's comic book source material that ended after 193 issues. Angela Kang recently told Deadline Post when asked to reveal if the series finale is on the page, and she says, no. We've plotted it all out and pitched the whole run to the studio and the network because obviously they all want to know that we have a plan and we're making it, and we aren't making it up as we go along. She laughs. We're all so type A and making sure that all the ducks are in a row, so we've done that. Well, of course. I mean, you're going to make sure that things are going to go as planned.
Yeah.
And, so we're going to be getting some more information here as Josh is going to read the next section from her recent interview.
On the show, we have such a different array of characters now than were in the comic at this stretch, Kang said. Andrew Lincoln left for his family reasons. We have various cast members that have also left. Yeah. We have characters like Carol who have long outlasted their comic book counterpart, and we have Daryl who doesn't even exist in the comics. And so I think naturally there is this process where some of the story from the comic book no longer really applies to the particular people that we're writing it for.
Absolutely. 100% true.
It is. I'm sure we're going to get into the others.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Daryl's a big one, right?
Huge.
I mean, this dude doesn't even exist in the source material, so
Nope.
They got to make up a story for him. I'm sure it's going to
They'll pull some parts.
align with what they have plans for the character down the road.
Down the road, yeah, for the spinoff and everything, yeah. So,
Carol's another interesting one because...
dude, she died very early in the comic book.
Yeah, and pretty brutally, too.
She killed herself.
Yeah, but how she killed herself.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert,
yeah.
She walked into a zombie on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She, in the comics, guys, she was falling in love with Rick and with Lori. She also wanted to have a threesome with them.
She was a lot younger.
She was a lot younger.
Not married, I don't believe.
I don't believe so, no. And yeah,
they completely changed the character.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, even if you had kept her the same type of character, you'd still have to write differently for her because she outlasted the comic book counterpart.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, the series finale won't exactly resemble the 25 years later ending of the comic book because key characters like Michonne, Carl, and Rick Grimes aren't around for the book's endgame for the series. And those are 3 huge ones. Now, Carl had a bigger impact in the 25-year time skip, but Rick and Michonne had a massive impact to the Commonwealth story arc of that last
Rick
issue.
did.
That's what I said.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
Rick did.
Rick
yeah.
did.
Oh, Rick very much did.
He's the main character.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disappointing to hear, actually. That is really disappointing.
Yeah.
To me, when I hear her statement on that, it means Andrew Lincoln's not coming back for the finale.
Correct.
Denai Guerrero is not coming back for the finale.
That we're aware of, no. Yeah.
But that's disappointing.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're throwing us off here. And that maybe they look, we're a pretty far away ways out from the finale. So maybe they have time to, bring in. My hope is, and we've talked about this before, but my hope is that they bring in Andrew Lincoln, they bring in Michonne as a part of the 25-year skip. And then
If they do that,
gives you 25 some years to do your movie inside that timeline.
Right. Yeah, you can, for sure. The final season will instead draw from the themes, major events, and ideas Kirkman created in the pages of the comic book. That includes the major storyline introducing Governor Pamela Milton, which they just recently revealed that Layla Robbins is playing, and Officer Mercer, played by Michael James Shaw of the Commonwealth, the largest civilization encountered so far in The Walking Dead. Yes, technically CRM has the largest civilization, but in this
do
world...
we know that? We don't know that for sure.
We do. They have over 200,000.
Okay, then yes. Okay.
But
is that counting Omaha campus?
Probably not, no. But because CRM is not a major part in this Walking Dead world right now, the Commonwealth will be the largest community that our group has encountered. So... to close, Kang continues, we definitely have to do a certain amount of deviation from the comics. What's been great is that Kirkman has always been all for it because he's like, I think it's great if people who read the comics are also getting a bit of a different experience on the show. So
Fair.
that's
fair.
given us a lot of freedom, which I am grateful for because we kind of need it at this point. We can't do exactly the comic book. It wouldn't feel right. Some of the stories wouldn't line up exactly right with the people that we have. And that's 100% true.
That's 100% true.
Yeah,
At first,
she's right on.
first I was like, wait a second. Yes, you can. But if you don't have the characters to do it, then absolutely, and you have to change it.
They can give some stories over. Now, one of them that they are doing is the Michonne storyline of the wall, which they've already revealed that's going to be going to Yumiko, where she found a note on the wall from her brother. That is a Michonne storyline. I wouldn't say it's a minor one. It was a big one for Michonne in the comics, but it doesn't fit Michonne in the show because she didn't have a daughter.
Yeah, and here's the deal: you could give Carl's storyline to Judith.
You can.
Definitely, you could.
You could.
So, I mean, there's that storyline. Some of it you can't because you need Andrew Lincoln, which I'm glad they don't have for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Judith can take over the 25-year skip even, and I fully expect for them to do that.
Yeah. I just have a feeling, and I know we did a different video talking about will they do this skip. I know that Lauren Cohan mentioned that she would love for them to do kind of a 30-year time skip to see how everyone's old. You know what I'm saying?
Of course she would.
Well, of course she would because she's still in it. Like
true, and she's got a big role.
She does, yeah. So, so I mean, it would be nice, yes. Really, what I'm kind of focusing on, and what I think everyone else is, especially other comic book readers, is the 25-year time skip storylines,
the Commonwealth storyline,
what they really have to deal with, and what the show might deal with. From Angela Kang, she, this woman knows how to properly answer questions other than Scott Gimple. He's more of but she says it, nail on the head. I mean, we have to deviate because we don't have the characters for this. She didn't go in to say we could change it, but I'm sure their best writers are working on deviating and giving pieces to different characters. But it's absolutely correct. I mean, yes, would I have loved to see Andrew Lincoln and Chandler Riggs and Denai Guerrera mingle and have scenes with Layla Robbins for Governor Milton and Mercer? Definitely, because they had big parts in this story. Yeah. They're not here. It's sad. We'll move on. They're gonna do a great job regardless. I hope
so too. It would have been really nice to get that.
The big pieces, especially with Rick and
Pamela. The big pieces with Rick, and I'm even okay doing with what they did with Rick, as long as you have Carl and make that 25-year skip.
Yeah, for sure.
That would have been beautiful to see on the screen.
If they want to, now I think they probably would have deviated. I couldn't tell you, but I think to end the series, I don't know if they really would have done that iconic moment with Rick in the TV show. But I think. I'm glad. I agree with you.
I didn't want him to.
I think it would have still been fitting because it's from the source material, but I don't know if they really would have done that in the comics, but I think it would have been a great ending. And then jump 25 years.
Not with Michonne there.
Well, I mean, yeah.
That's lost.
Right. Well, actually, yeah, because Rick and Michonne are a couple in the show, it would make it harder.
Yeah,
It
for
would
the
definitely-
viewer, it would.
For the viewer, it would, yeah, because they weren't, of course, lovers in the comic
but
book
look,
source
you're not
material,
here
but-
to.
Right.
Am I wrong in saying you're not here to please the viewer all the time? Like,
Correct.
It's one of the famous things that George R.R. Martin talked about is like sometimes you need that shock and awe in your character writing.
We've had plenty of shock and awe with characters.
Yeah,
Plenty.
And it's okay for fans to be pissed off. Like
Yeah.
the Glenn fans. Like, I'm sorry, but that's part of story writing, and that's okay to lose that character. You're upset. That's
Right.
the point.
Exactly. And of course with comic book readers like us, not to say that, the show hasn't done every single iconic death. They've done a lot of them though, mostly with villains, but with some of our main characters, Glenn was like numero uno, number one.
That's
to
the
go.
iconic moment.
The most
of the
iconic
comic book series.
to introduce Negan.
Yeah.
And that's why people hated Negan. That's the point, If you read the comics, I'm sure you would have hated him in the comics the same way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, it's fine. It's not written yet. I mean, they have a long way to go, and they're going to get there, but it is going to be very interesting how this Commonwealth arc goes, because we've mentioned it before. It wasn't a really great arc, so to speak, for the final 6 issues of the series. It had its moments, and it had its bad moments.
Very few moments, in my opinion.
Here's the thing: it went fast. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It went too fast, and then you're jumping 25 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It just went too fast.
It wasn't that great of a story arc for me, and I think you feel the same way.
Yeah, and a lot of other comic book fans have, some have mentioned it in the comments of too. When we
But
brought
again,
it up,
like you said, there's not much there. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the show does, because they have their work cut out for them, because there's just not that much story here.
no, not a lot.
And to stretch that out in 3 different parts.
Yeah. Well, it was just the same thing, because after the Whisperer War, there really wasn't much story in between that and the comics anyway. In between the Whisperer War and the Commonwealth, wasn't much.
Especially for Rick.
Yeah, especially for Rick.
Even during the Whisper War, we barely saw Rick on the pages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whisperer War was Carl, Lydia, Maggie, a bunch of other
Don't
characters.
get me wrong,
but
Rick
he
was there, and there were a couple moments with Rick, but I mean,
yeah.
he was at the table looking at the maps, too,
Yeah.
figuring the shit out. So, like,
For real, yeah.
I don't know. I just think that I think the story is going to be drastically changed. I think the premise will still be there, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Just like what she said, the major themes, events, and ideas are going to be there, and it's going to look different, which is perfectly fine. So let us know what you think. We know you guys are hyped for this final season. They just revealed some, as you guys are watching this on Friday, the Thursday reveal was the first look at Layla Robbins as Pamela Milton, and for Josh Hamilton as Lance Hornsby, and they look absolutely great.
Yes.
Yes, Pamela Milton, the actress who plays Pamela Milton in real life is roughly about in her 60s. Pamela Milton in the source material, she was roughly in like her mid to late 40s, and then, that was pre the 25-year time skip. So I have seen some comments where people are like, oh, she looks too old, but the majority of them, she looked great.
Have we
she
gotten
looks great.
anything on Sebastian?
Nothing.
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 Which tells me
There
maybe
is-
they're not even doing that.
There is, I know I mentioned it a while ago in a video. They did sign on a gentleman who he's known for, I think he was doing soap operas and stuff. But a lot of people think that he could be Sebastian just because of how he looks. He's a young, nice-looking guy, short hair. He's a little bit older than Sebastian, like in the age-wise, you would say, the comic book version of Sebastian. So he could maybe be the older son, because Layla Robbins is a little older, make Sebastian maybe in his 20s or 30, maybe his late 20s, early 30s or something. But I've heard, we try to stay away from spoilers, we definitely do. So, but I haven't seen anything come up on Twitter about any mention of Sebastian at all.
Yeah.
So we don't know if they're really going to do that.
That's crazy.
I'm fine with it if they don't.
I'm fine if they don't either, because literally
they'd have to
he
really
didn't have too many parts. Sorry.
They'd have
go
to.
ahead.
Well, I was going to say they have to give the main event to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've already mentioned it. So I mean, like,
and he, outside of that, he was maybe on a couple pages voicing his frustration with everything that was happening.
yeah.
That's it.
And then in the 25 years, he's in jail for what he did.
That's it.
That's it.
So I mean, you could completely remove that character and remove that storyline, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, let us know what you think in the comments. If you are the comic book readers, we have a bunch of you on the channel. Let us know what you think of how the deviations will go. Do you think other stories and themes will go to other characters? Do you think they're going to scrap a lot of this or make up a decent amount with the help of Robert Kirkman, helping them change those focuses around? So make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and stay tuned for another cool Walking Dead video that we have on some other villain rankings that I think you guys are going to enjoy.
Yes.
So we'll see you guys soon. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation. We're out.